From High Point Solutions Stadium, it's the Central Group 4 Championship game. Freehold Borough, Long Branch, and a crack at the crown. Hi again, everybody. Dan Savarino here with you. Thanks so much for joining us on this Saturday evening, right here from Rutgers University, as the 8-3 Colonials from Freehold Borough are playing, looking for their third ever sectional championship game. Meanwhile, Long Branch, also at 8-3, but as a 3 seed, will come in looking also for their third sectional championship, as they will kick off in their second meeting this season. The first one not that long ago. It was the regular season finale for one team back on November the 3rd, and if there's extra time on the clock, there is a very good chance it is Long Branch that comes away with the home victory. Instead, it was Freehold Borough, who have been playing basically for their lives most of this season after having to forfeit the first 2 games and did lose that second game. They had to battle through and win out basically the season. Only loss was to Manalapan, who we just saw about an hour ago, coming in as the 8th seed, and now a chance to win a championship. The head coach, Dave Ellis, 7th year for Freehold Borough. Long Branch, Danny George, 19th year at the helm. Jake Hurler will kick off from left to right for Freehold Borough. They wear their white uniforms with the gold helmets and the blue numbers. Long Branch wears the all green for the Green Wave. Fresh 12 minutes on the clock. Pigskin on the pylon. We're underway. Thank you so much for joining us here on News 12 Varsity. The first touch of the game will go to Jaquan Gordon, and his kick return will bring the ball out to the 33-yard line. That is where Juwan Wilkins, the senior QB, will get out there and work under center. This season, 63% completion, 1,740 yards, 19 touchdowns, 7 INTs. He has thrown a touchdown pass in every single game this season for an offense that has been averaging 26 points per contest. Last time out for them, they did have a Thanksgiving game.
11:45.
They lost to Red Bank Regional 21-20, an overtime loss. Less time to prepare for after their semifinal win. First ball will end up going to Matt Clark, and then Clark is smothered at the 30-yard line for a loss. Great pursuit by this Colonials defense. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for Long Branch. Cerruti Metzler, Taylor Jr., Santiago, and Carasquillo are the front 5 guys. So at the skill positions, Pace of Fields, along with TJ Foscue. You'll see Jermaine Corbett at tailback with Jawan Gordon. Lakim Morris is at fullback, and Matt Clark, who just had that reception, is also at wide receiver. So second down and 12. It will be a run play, and it'll be bowled ahead. Only for a 5 or 6 yard pickup, a nice little gain. The defense for Freehold Borough, which has been surrendering about 25 points per contest. The 3 up front is Jaquan Everett with Vinnie Manning and Kenny Tomkovich. The linebackers, the 4 across, Calhoun, Stokes, Larson, and Da Silva, with the secondary players of Hare, Kraus, and Staples. They're down at 7. Long Branch from their own 36. Wilkins looks right, throws right. He's got a man, but Pace of Fields couldn't pull it in. Was darting across towards the 40-yard line. So a 3 and out to begin for Freehold Borough. And the last thing they wanted to do was give the Colonials an offensive drive with one of the more dynamic quarterbacks you will see in this state. The punt is a line drive, as Porch boots it to the 35-yard line of Freehold Borough. So here comes Ashante Worthy, wearing number 2. He was the tailback for a number of years, took over last season after their starting QB got hurt against Neptune. Many called him a Wildcat quarterback. They really challenged him this year, and he has stepped up to that challenge. 2,589 yards on the ground, 1,965 yards in the air. He has rushed for more yards than anybody this season. That'll be a false start in the offense. Naeem Mayfield is the only guy who was close to him, and now he has 93 yards more and will continue to rise with that number after Mayfield's put up 136 in his final high school game. Empty backfield as they always do. Kraus is the motion man, and another flag. Could be some nervous energy here against Freehold Borough. It's going to back him up another 5. So back-to-back false start penalties. Sometimes that first quarter big game nerves, it's tough to get that feel right off the start. But Worthy, the senior, will call out orders with his offensive line. 2 receivers on his left, 2 to his right, 3 to his right, rather than. Back on the 25-yard line. Worthy runs ahead and high steps over past the 30-yard line. So he will pick up now 5 or 6 yards on this carry. The offensive line, we look at the starters. Bennett, Burge, Willis, Girardi, and Linares. 3 returning starters and really have stepped up. Get you the skill position after this play. Worthy looks left, throws left. It is caught outside of the numbers as Ahmad Dixon will bring it up just out of bounds at the 42. The skilled guys, Davis and Macon, are outside with Dixon, Kraus, and Da Silva in the slots. 3rd down and 3. Worthy will run it on 3rd down. Lower the shoulder, and he picks up just 2, so it'll be a 4th and inches upcoming.
Ball in place for 39, it'll be 4th and a yard.
So 4th down and 1. They will go for it here. Chan is defense. Worthy runs left. He's got the 1st down. Shimmies back right. And they'll move the sticks in the process. The defense for Long Branch, giving up 16 points per contest. And they have also been very good throughout these playoffs. Smith and Mims are on the outside. Kamar Mims, their big recruit, with Cerruti and Metzler at the 2 tackles. As this pass will be a low one, but it is caught by Da Silva. Actually, they're going to say incomplete rather than. An incomplete pass it is. The linebackers of Morris, Arnold, and Sharon. Secondary of Levy and Cleveland, Dennis, and Porch. So it actually is a catch, but it's a loss of 3. Worthy spins around, and he'll only get back to that original line of scrimmage for a 3rd down and 11 upcoming now, as he only picks up 2. Like I said, Worthy coming in needs 35 yards to be the first ever player in New Jersey history to throw and rush for 2,000. Worthy will drop back to pass. Here comes the rush on the outside. Throws on the run. It is caught by McCon. Megan will move the chains to the 37-yard line. And another 1st down. Officials timeout as they need to fix those markers on the far side. Be a 1st and 10. We're 4 minutes in the books from the 37-yard line. Worthy in the first meeting, 504 total yards of offense. Runs to his left, decides to air it out. One-on-one coverage, now into double coverage, batted away. Quincy Davis was the target, the big 6'6" junior, who has reeled in 7 touchdowns this season. Worthy is just so dangerous, you always have to keep your eye on what he's going to do.
2nd and 10.
As he'll rush up the gut and grab back a couple of more yards. And this offensive line was so good in that first meeting.
Rodriguez on top. 36 at 33.
So the 33-yard line is where he stands. And another false start will come. That will be the third false start on this drive alone. They have lost 3 penalties for 15 yards just on this opening drive. So back at the 38-yard line.
Correction on that. I think 3rd and 11 at 38.
From the gun, Worthy. Pump fakes, and he'll rush down the far side. Back over to Rutgers logo, way back in his own territory. A lose 1, he throws. Flag on the play, airs it up, and batted away. Kevin Porch, the senior captain. This flag could be bouncing this back even further if accepted, though. Kevin Porch, a captain who already has offers to St. Anselm, Division II.
Personal foul. Face mask.
A face mask on Long Branch. Brings an applause on this near sideline. So from 3rd and 11, the face mask will bring it up to the 33. It'll be 3rd down and 6. Worthy. He'll run up the middle. He's got the first down and more. Past the 10, past the 5, leaps to the byline, but he'll be out at the 2. Boy, just so elusive is Ashante Worthy. And something that is so interesting, and this team does not use a tailback at all. And Coach Ellis has said, why would we? When our best player, our best running back, our best quarterback is already at the quarterback position. We want to start with him with the ball. Takes it himself, runs into the pile, drives those legs forward, and he'll be short by about a foot. He already has continued to be on the rise in these rushing numbers, and with that run, he has broken the all-time shore rushing record in his career. That was Keyport's Ken Catus with more than 6,600 yards. Worthy caps off with a touchdown. Well, a drive that was stalled by penalties, but Ashante Worthy does what he does best. A 1-yard run, and 6 is on the board for Freehold Borough.
Pat Krause will attempt the conversion. A correction on that. Jake Hurley. Krause will hold.
Jake Hurler out for the PAT. Ball's down, laces to the front, 7-0, Freehold Borough. So on their first drive, they go 64 yards, despite those 3 big penalties that they took early on with false starts. Ashante Worthy, his New Jersey state best, 36th rushing TD. And total touchdowns, 56 total touchdowns if you consider the ones in the air. Just a remarkable season for him. And the only guy who has more rushing TDs, though, than Ashante Worthy was Naeem Mayfield. So, 7-0 lead, 6:18 to go here in an opening quarter. After a 3-and-out by Long Branch. And the goal for them, and Dan George, he said, we have to make sure we keep Worthy off the field. That is the only way we can be able to try and slow him down offensively. Best way of dealing with him is keeping him on that sideline. So it all comes down to what our offensive line can do. Erler will boot it from left to right. End over end and pulled in from the 11-yard line. Here comes a nice return off the left side. Matt Clark with a good run to the 39.
Dixon brings it down.
So after a 3-and-out, second drive for Long Branch. 8-3 on the season, a win over Jackson Memorial, when Gordon had 2 fourth-quarter rushing TDs to extend the lead. Wilkins hit Foscue to open a scoring, and from there on out, they were good to go. Wilkins lowers the shoulder, piling him back was Matt Da Silva. Their Julian Edelman, as Dave Ellis calls him. More because of what he does on the offensive side. Not that big, but you can stick him in any situation. 5'9", 175 pounds of pure fury. A gain of just 1. Second down. Juking left is Corbin. And to the 45-yard line is where he goes. Jermaine Corbin, 1,200 yards on the season. Him and Jaquan Gordon, again, have been almost their yin and yang in terms of rushing the football. While Gordon has not had as many carries as the fullback in Morris, those two were so good on an undefeated freshman team last year. Thunder and lightning is what Danny George called it. But Corbett has been the lead back all season. First team all division. Wilkins, time in the pocket to throw. Fires a bullet to the near side. It is caught by TJ Foscue. Into Freehold Borough real estate. And at the 38-yard line. Put it at the 37. TJ Foscue, a commit to Monmouth. He'll be staying here in the Garden State. And he has said it, he learned a lot from last year, watching a sectional championship at Kane. His dad, the head coach of Asbury Park, who won their crown last year. He said it was definitely a good motivation for them going forward. Pretty cool to see how it worked out that way. And now he has a chance to win his own sectional crown. His dad, Tim, coming away with a big, big season. But for Long Branch, after a 2-8 year in 2016, where they did not qualify for the postseason, have not qualified since a 2014 run where they lost in the semifinals to Carteret. Since then, it's been 3-7 in 2015, 2-8 in 2016. But guys like Corbett and many of the other youngsters have really been able to elevate the play of this Long Branch group. But of course, you had to give credit to the seniors, such as a Foscue, a Fields, a Wilkins, and of course, a Kmar Mims. First and 10 from the 27. Wilkins runs behind some blockers, right around to the 21-yard line. Again, it's not a run-heavy QB, but will rush the football. When these two teams met back in November, early November, Freehold Borough up 13-7 at halftime, and then 20-14 going into the fourth. It was Wilkins who had 3 touchdowns and 261 yards in the air. They didn't rush the football that well. A season low 24 carries, or season low 14 carries on 24 yards. And that was one issue for them in that contest, just the inability to rush the football. And was one of the keys coming into today, that they needed to rush the football very well in order to stay with this group. After Fields tied the game with under 8 minutes to play and a PAT missed 20-20, an 80-yard 15-play drive, which ended with a Krause TD with a $1:42 left, is what gave Freehold Borough that lead. And then with out of timeouts, really nothing that Long Branch could have done. They drove from their own 36 to the 7-yard line. First and goal with 42 ticks left. Wilkins then got sacked by Everett and Calhoun, followed by an incomplete pass on third down. The fourth down screen was swatted away, and that was pretty much it. So as Dave Ellis even said to us before this contest, listen, they have one timeout. That could be a whole different game. We could be on the losing end of this. He knew how good this group was. 2:40 remaining and counting. First and 10 from the 13. And Corbett will move up to the 11 after a 2-yard pickup. Both teams have won 2 sectional championships in their history. For Long Branch, their last finals appearance coming in 2007. When they lost to Morristown 20-6 in the Central Group 3 after a 10-2 record. 9th ever appearance in a sectional championship game. Wilkins fires a bullet looking for Foscue. Incomplete, and there's going to be a flag. Javante Hare was on the coverage. He couldn't believe the call. Pass interference is the call. It is a 15-yard penalty and half the distance, so that will bring it up to the 6-yard line and still remains second down. So after a 3-and-out in their first drive, looking much better here in series number 2. I formation. 2 receivers on the right, 1 to the left. Corbett jukes back right, and he'll be tackled right at that line of scrimmage. Matt Krause was the first one to bust ahead through the hole and hit him hard and hit him low. This defense, they've been so good this season of just lining up. They're the big believers of you line up and you'll do right things. But it was a maturation process throughout the season, including from the coaching staff of learning the strengths and weaknesses of this group. Wilkins drives forward. So on third down, it's like he will pick up the first, and it'll be a first and goal.
First down for Long Branch, first and goal at the 2.
So first and goal to 2 with 1 minute and 10 seconds remaining in the opening quarter. Long Branch 8-3 on the season, losses to Red Bank Catholic. That was here at Rutgers. Felt that whole process could have helped them as Corbett is in. Touchdown Long Branch. His 13th rushing TD of the season. And the sophomore gives the green wave, just a PAT shy of tying the game. Montague out for the PAT, 31 of 36 on the season. Perfect 4-4 last time out. And he bangs this right between the uprights. 7-7, 54 seconds remaining here in an opening quarter. Jermaine Corbett with the rushing TD after a nice long drive of 61 yards.
Earlier today here in the Central Group 2 final, the Hillside 20, Point Pleasant Borough 13. In the Group 5 final, South Brunswick scored in the final minute to beat Manalapan 18-14.
Tie ball game here in the first quarter. Corbett caps off the touchdown run here at Rutgers. we were saying before with Long Branch, they had the opportunity already to play here at High Point Solutions Stadium early on in the year. It ended up being a loss to Red Bank Catholic, 42-28, one of the three in the first loss they had that season. Just to play here early in the season, warm up in the bubble as all the teams do. Not everyone knows that. There is the bubble on the side. You do not warm up on this field. You come over there, you get yourself prepared, and basically you walk a couple of 100 feet, and before you know it, you are inside of the stadium. It's a way to keep the games moving, keep everyone fresh. But it is something that you have to get used to, just the atmosphere itself. But after you take it in and the build-up is all over, it's the same football field, 100 yards on both sides. Montague will kick off from right to left with 54 seconds remaining here in the first. This will go to Hare, and he'll pick it up from the 17, and then he's tackled back at the 21. Elijah Sharon, the senior, coming in like a missile seeker. My goodness. He hit him hard and he hit him low. A nice clean tackle. So from the 21-yard line is Ashante Worthy, who was involved in all 12 plays on their opening drive. 8 carries for 51, with another 3 of 4 passing for 24 yards. De Silva will make the catch, but it will be a short gain. And another good tackle by this defense. They'll grab 4. From the 25-yard line, Worthy looks to run, twists around, and crosses the 30-yard line. Very close to where those chains end. And he'll be moving them. Another first down for Ashante Worthy. Just 16 seconds remaining here in the quarter. And that will end up doing it for the first. They will elect to begin this as we flip the field to begin the second quarter. Oh, check that. Actually, there's an injured player on the field. So don't go anywhere yet. Again, 7-7 is the score. Worthy a 1-yard run. Make it 7-0. Followed up by a Corbett touchdown run to equalize this game. As we're here in the first quarter, late in the first, from High Point Solutions Stadium. If you are just joining us today, you've missed a lot of good football. Our first game, Hillside wins their second ever sectional championship. First one since 1985. They defeat Point Pleasant Borough. And our last game was phenomenal from start to finish. After Manalapan opened up a 14-0 lead in the first quarter, 18 unanswered points by South Brunswick in our top 25 battle, wins them their third sectional championship. A questionable call in the end zone, which a lot of people will talk about that one for a while, but good defensive plays by South Brunswick earned them that victory. First and 10 from the 31. This is a throw. It is to Dixon. Dixon's got the first down and more, all the way to midfield. And for the first time in the Garden State, a quarterback has thrown and rushed for 2,000 career yards. Ashante Worthy will now drop back, pump fakes, floats it over the middle of the field, incomplete. Trying to hit De Silva. So that's the end of the opening frame. 7-7, history being made here at Rutgers. Tie ball game in the Central Group 4 Championship. Stay right here on News 12 Varsity. Welcome back to High Point Solutions Stadium. Dan Savarino with you. Josh Noble, our producer. It'll be 2nd and 10 from the 48. Ashante Worthy in a 7-7 game. Runs to the right side. He's outside the numbers, past the 45, and into the Green Wave bench. So Freehold Borough scoring first, followed up by a Long Branch equalizer and a very entertaining first quarter of action. As expected, Worthy involved in every single play. He looks left, hesitates, and be tackled from behind.
Jennings on the stop, number 18.
That was Bayon Jennings, the sophomore, with 10 tackles on the season. Taking a look at some of the first quarter stats. Freehold Borough, 104 total yards of offense compared to Long Branch's 59. 66 rushes. And this ball is loose, and Worthy has to pounce on it. So a huge loss here for Freehold Borough. Worthy 61 yards rushing prior to the start of this quarter. And 38 yards passing, which, like we said, puts him in the 2000 club. 8 carries for 33 yards for Corbett, as Worthy throws here on a very, very long 2nd down and 26. De Silva makes the catch at the 50. Already De Silva's 3rd catch today, largest one of a game. Worthy on 3rd down and 18. Rolls near side, overshoots Quincy Davis. 2nd time he's looked to his big target at wideout, so 4th down and extremely long. Worthy does the punting duties. So Worthy will punt, and they'll let the ball continue to roll inside of the 15. So Long Branch will take over for their 3rd series of the day at their own 9-yard line. John Wilkins, 2 of 3, 11 yards passing. Also, 4 carries for 15 yards, but again, it was the run game that worked so well. 1st and 10 from the 14-yard line, and here goes Corbett. Past the 40, eludes 2 tackles, and up to the 45. A 31-yard gain for Jermaine Corbett. Well, Corbett is just a sophomore, and of course asking Coach George, do you even expect something like that with your youth this season? And coming back said, don't expect it. You kind of hope it. As Wilkins has a man wide open, it's Mims. Mines has offers from Rutgers, Temple, UConn, Lake Forest, BC, Monmouth. It keeps going on and on. Phenomenal defensive end. Run up the gut. Corbett twists his way for a 3-yard pickup. Just the 14th reception for Kimar. 2nd down and 7. So 2 big plays already by Long Branch. A 31-yard run by Corbett. And then they look to the air, and already they're inside of the 30. Good pace to this game for the Green Wave. They stack the box. Corbett gets out of that box, and he'll go straight to the house. 29-yard run. Long Branch has their first lead. Jermaine Corbett saw the gap on the left side, got one big block ahead from his left guard in Metzler, and then he was off to the races. So quick. The PAT is on its way, and Montague is 2 of 2. 14-7. 9:21 to go here in the half. We played 2:39 of the second quarter. The Green Wave with a very balanced offense in their second series, running the football, mixing in a good throw, and followed up by another big run. That was something that, again, they missed. It was their worst day of rushing all season long, and it came against this group, where they threw the ball 261 yards and 3 touchdown receptions, but again, that rushing game was just very, very minimal. Today they've gone to the ground, and it has paid dividends. Dixon and Hare back to receive. Montague floats a kick. It is picked up by Hare at the 13-yard line. Hare up the middle of the field, and he hits the turf at the 29.
Number 22, mixes up. And Williams take over at their own 29.
From their own 29-yard line, Ashante Worthy will work from the gun. This team has been averaging 425 yards per game as Worthy tries to stiff arm, and that's going to be a penalty late, and a second. Jaquan Gordon drove him into the Freehold Borough sideline. And there were 2 flags, so you wonder if this will end up being offsetting, or both are just on Long Branch. And Gordon being told by his head coach, Dan George, got to settle it down a little bit. It's a face mask penalty. So the dead ball foul on top of the face mask will essentially give them 30 yards. .29 to be exact. So they flipped the field on one play. And they're actually going to discuss the face mask penalty. And I think on the spot. It will stay at the 42 of Long Branch. Man in motion is Hare. False start again. The fourth false start today against Freehold Borough. So first down and 15, ball back on the 47-yard line. As the temperature cools even more here at High Point Solutions Stadium on this December evening. Worthy pump fakes, looks to run, then throws, and overshoots Matt Krause, the junior. Just hasn't found his rhythm offensively yet. Even though there is 7 on the board, you can just tell by some of his throws. He's overshot a couple of his targets. I don't want to say big game jitters, but right out of the gate, all these guys are just so ready to go. Second and 15. Worthy. Here comes the pressure. Gets out of it, and he'll change direction. Gets the block to the far side of the field. Gets past another one in Morris, and is tackled at the 40. So that essentially is just a 7-yard gain, where he probably goes 45 yards. It may not be something that shows up in terms of big yardage, but he broke one tackle where he had it down low, got a good block, and then Morris almost took him out, so he got up to the 40-yard line, to the 38. It's third down and 8. It is a catch on the far side and reeled in at the 35.
But it's 4th and 3 at the 35.
So 4th down and 3 after Macon. They'll pull in another reception. Timeout, Freehold Borough. Both teams are out of timeouts here in the first half. There's 7:42 remaining here in the second quarter. Dan Savarino with you. Thanks so much for joining us all day today. Of course, we have games over at Kane. We have games at MetLife this whole weekend. And then one more here at Rutgers after today. And that final game, the Rumson Fairhaven looking for their 5th straight sectional title. They'll play Somerville. It's been a great story going from the doghouse to pretty much the top dogs. Well, not yet. They don't want to call themselves that. The Pioneers have done such a great job this year, going from the semifinals last year to now a championship game appearance. That's a 7 o'clock start right here on News 12 Varsity. 4th and 3. Worthy will drop back in a punting position. Long Branch will not have anybody attempt to receive. Worthy decides to go. Can't escape those tackles. Kyle Smith, the DN, first one on the pursuit, a turnover on downs. So the 2 penalties and losing 29 yards don't end up hurting this defense and offense altogether. They will begin on their own 40-yard line. So Long Branch from left to right now with 7:35 to play. Foscue, lone receiver on the left side. Stack the box. Corbett hits his holes up to the 45. 5-yard gain for Jermaine Corbett. Offensively, of course, something Dan George has said, we always do look for balance. Every coach does. But when they're playing their best football, they feel it's the balance that they have. They feel they had it against Brick Township. in their semifinal win. They felt they had it in their quarterfinal win. Corbett hopscotches his way to the 48. So the Long Branch first down will continue to move this drive. This offense averaging 316 per game. You want to talk about balance, 165 yards passing, 150 rushing, 20 touchdowns each coming into today. Ball falls down. Freehold Borough says it's theirs. That's the signal. Corbett fumbled the football as soon as he hit the pile. Ball got jarred loose by Jake Larson. And then somehow Matt Krause was the one who jumped on the pigskin. So Larson, the sophomore, who's been probably their biggest surprise this year at inside linebacker, forces a fumble. 1st and 10 from their own 47, and short hopping to Silva is Worthy. Actually, it's a catch. So will end up being a catch, and run continues for Worthy. To the 44. Third down and 1. 2 of 5 on third downs today. They'll look to send 6. Worthy runs right up ahead. Hangs on to the football to the 41-yard line. And that'll be first. Dave Ellis, 7th-year head coach, was an assistant for 6 years prior to that. In his first 3 seasons, 3-7, 2-8, 2-8. Followed up by this year, which has been so good for them. Someone else who's been really good for them has been Matt De Silva, the senior. Dennis on the tackle. It'll be a first down. But after winning 6 games last year and falling to Brick in that semifinal, Brick Township, and it fell in the championship game here last year. As Krause with the catch and run. He lowers the shoulder to the 14. There's also a flag on this play. But 6-5 last year. And that was after they started 0-4 and rallied right behind Ashante Worthy, who went 6-2 with him at QB. 10-yard penalty against Freehold Borough. So only use really a yard here. It'll be 1st and 11 as Worthy up the middle past the 10-yard line, and he signals for a first down. 1st and goal, and trailing by 7 points. Under 5 minutes to play here in the quarter and the half. It's 14-7. Worthy cuts left, and no gain. If you look at Ashante Worthy's numbers, though, total yards of offense, again, that includes what he does passing and throwing. He has had at least 200 yards in each. 8 of the 11 games, 300 yards. 6 times he's been over 400 yards in the 4 prior to last contest. The quarterfinals, he had 635 yards. 1 of 2 times that he eclipsed 600 this season. In terms of rushing yards, he has had 3 300-yard rushing days and 6 200-yard rushing contests. Some guys just kill to eclipse the century mark. He's done that every single contest. His low game was 129 yards rushing. Worthy will drop back to pass. Here comes the pressure. Gets past and runs, leaps! Touchdown! Boy, he got past Jennings and then did what he's been doing all season. A PAT away from a tie score. Once Worthy lost that time in the pocket with Jennings coming, he saw the open room and leaped over a defender. Tie game at 14-14. Hurlers 2 for 2 on PATs. 3:39 to go here in the quarter. TJ Foscue tried to go low. Worthy saw that coming and decided to go high. Diving right into the end zone. And a tie game late in the second. Worthy's got both touchdown runs. Hurler will kick off from right to left. Long Branch looking for one final drive in this quarter to take a lead into the halftime break. Hurler picked up at the 10. They'll fake a reverse. It's Porch. Flag late. Two flags on the play. Let's get the call.
On the receiving team. Trademark penalty, first down.
So a block in the back on the green wave. They will start at their own 13. Excuse me, at their own 8. Three and a half to play here in the half. Wilkins tosses it out to Corbett. There is a flag on the play. And the ball's loose. Freehold Borough has it. It is their football. Again, Matt Krause underneath with the pigskin. And for the second consecutive time, Corbett fumbles, Krause recovers. It is a holding call on Long Branch. Declined, obviously. And the ball will be spotted at the 9. So Krause, right place, right time. Second and goal from the 4. Worthy's got all 3. points off of turnovers. And so far, that category has been won by the guys with the gold helmets. Worthy just going one-on-one with linebacker Luke Arnold. Their top defensive player with 118 tackles on the season. Hurler to extend the lead to 7, and he will do so. 21-14. .45 seconds apart between scores. Ashante Worthy has 3 rushing touchdowns. So back-to-back fumbles on back-to-back possessions after everything was working so well for the Long Branch offense. And coaches always say it, in these big games, it's a playoff game, a championship game, usually comes down to sometimes 1, maybe 2 turnovers. You have to be on the winning side of that. Because if not, there will be a player like Ashante Worthy or many others who will make you pay for it. What a job by the offensive line, though, today. Worthy has been very impressive individually, as is Krause and many others, but this offensive line as a unit and winning the battle in the trenches again. Same as that first meeting. Porch from the 10. Slows down, hits the 25, and he's swarmed. So a minute ago, Long Branch had a 7-point lead. Now they trail by 7. 2:47 to play here in the second quarter. First and 10 from the 25. Left hash marks. Wilkins, play action. He throws. Mimes with the grab. Kimar Mimes to the 34. Check that 33. Second reception today. Nearly a 4-year player for them, 3-year player plus. As Vosku takes the screen and darts up the far sideline, where he's pulled out of bounds inside of Freehold Borough territory. They've tried to use Vosku when they can. And honestly, that play has been working a few times for them, using his speed on the outside. Had 5 catches, 54 yards, and a score in the first meeting. Also had a 64-yard touchdown reception in the semifinals. Wilkins runs outside, lowers the body, and he's tackled right at the 40 by Ashante Worthy. To the 41, it'll be second down and 4. Wilkins looked very good in that Thanksgiving game despite the interception and just 1 touchdown, but completion numbers, 77%. This time he eludes a tackle, maybe not the second one though. It is Matt DeSilva. Defense returning 4 starters this season. And have been giving up not 25 points per contest, but they will stay in games with you. Focus the last 3-4 weeks, second to none. It'll be third down and 2. Wilkins spins around in the backfield. Everett, among others. Give Everett the sack if you're scoring this at home. A returning starter at the end. Eats up so many of those big blocks and still gets to the guy they need. 4th down and 6. And they will be going for it here. Wilkins works from the gun. 2 receivers on both sides.
Timeout. Long Branch.
It is a timeout, Long Branch. Our mistake before, scoreboard malfunction, had 0 timeouts for both teams. And I was trying to remember, when were those timeouts taken? It's been a very long day. This is our 3rd game here at Rutgers, and each one has been just as fun as the next, I can tell you that. Doesn't get old this weekend. Great weather for what it is. Yes, personally, I would enjoy 70 degrees, but for December football, this is as good as you're going to get. Mid-40s, not too cold, not too warm. Really no clouds in the sky, not much wind. That championship crisp in the air. They just sell that in stores. 20 seconds to play here in the half. From the 43. 4th and 6. Wilkins, 3-step drop. Has time. Throws. Foscue. It is a catch. DJ Foscue, the senior. Boy, he put it in a small window. And good coverage on him by Hare. Timeout, Long Branch. They're down to just one final timeout. 15 seconds remaining. Of course, they're going to want to try and put points on the board with 2 shots, considering that Freehold Borough will be getting the pigskin to start the 3rd quarter. Again, 2 scores within 45 seconds of one another after 2 fumbles that were recovered by Matt Krause on back-to-back defensive stands. Resulted in 2 worthy TDs. He has all 3 touchdowns for the Colonials. For Long Branch, Corbett has the other 2. Unfortunately for him, his 2 fumbles turned into 14 points for his opposition. Here he stands at the left hip of Jawan Wilkins. 1 receiver on the left. That is Clark, 3 on the right. 15 seconds to play. Deflected and into the hands of Foscue. Boy, that was almost intercepted by Yasun Calhoun, a returning starter at outside linebacker. 7 seconds to play and a timeout by Danny George. That's their last charged timeout. That could have been a clear interception. Instead, it deflects right between the hands of the senior Calhoun on defense and into the guy in the green jersey in TJ Foscue, who has a couple of catches on this drive. So last time out, 7 seconds to go, and the ball will be at the 22-yard line here in the 2nd quarter. Montague has attempted a few field goals this season, 2 of 5. Has not attempted one, though, since the 20th of October. This would be a very long field goal. Trips left, Foscue on the right. Now they'll flip it to the near side of the field. Wilkins. Pressure comes, throws, got hit as he tossed it. Jaquan Everett was able to hit his arm as he got the toss off. Still 2 seconds remaining. Everett came around from the back, knocking on the door and hit his right arm. So final play here of the half. Wilkins from the gun. Ball on the 22. It's 2nd and 10 with 2 seconds remaining here in the half. Wilkins looks left. Pressure comes. Tosses right side. It's caught. Matt Clark. Touchdown. The momentum boost that Long Branch needed going into the locker room. And it was an injured player on that coverage. And that's what pretty much allowed Clark to be sitting wide open. Didn't get a good look on who fell down. Matt Clark's 2nd touchdown reception of the season. His high in yards and receptions came against this Freehold Borough group. Extra point by Montague with zeros on the clock. Kick is up. We have a tie game at halftime. 21-21. Matt Clark pulls in a touchdown grab with zeros on the clock, and that equalizes this score. What a game between Long Branch and Freehold Borough. Stay tuned. 2nd half is upcoming from High Point Solutions Stadium. It's the Central Group 4 Championship game only on News 12 Varsity. 21-21. That is the score between Long Branch and Freehold Borough here in the Central Group 4 Championship game. Live from High Point Solutions Stadium. Dan Savarino with you. Thanks so much for joining us. As Long Branch, green uniforms, left to right, they will kick off to begin this half. Freehold Borough, gold helmets, white jerseys, blue numbers from right to left. A touchdown by Matt Clark with zeros on the clock. 22 yards out is what tied this score. Second half underway. Thanks for joining us. Hare picks it up from the 14-yard line. Runs right into the middle of the field and is knocked down to the turf at the 26. Ashante Worthy in that first half. The team offensively, 186 yards on 36 plays. And Worthy has been involved in basically every single play that they had. 20 carries for 117 yards, 10 of 14 passing for another 80 yards, 3 rushing touchdowns. On 1st and 10 from the 26, he will take a carry 4 yards ahead. I'll make that 3. Actually, make that 2 as the officials continue to back up from their original spot. Ashante Worthy, as we were mentioning, today could be a big record-breaking day. He already broke the Shore record for career rushing yards. He has already broken, he has the state record in touchdowns total. Came in with 55, he now has 58 in total. He leads the state in rushing yards in a season, entering today with 2,589. A lot of numbers for you here. But to put this in perspective, if he puts up 110 rushing yards in the second half, very likely that he can do so, he will be the single-season record holder in rushing yards, something that Jonathan Taylor out of Salem and now at Wisconsin did just a year ago. So 3 plays, they gone 8 yards. It'll be a 4th down and 2. Worthy again does the punting duties as they move from right to left here on 4th down. From the 34. Worthy elects to punt after fooling everybody. And it's a solid punt that will roll inside of the 30-yard line and be touched at that 29. So a 3-and-out is exactly what the doctor ordered for Long Branch, who again grabbed that momentum going into halftime. And looking at Juwan Wilkins' numbers, 8 of 10 passing, 105 yards, the touchdown to end the half. Corbett, 15 carries, 111 yards, 2 TDs. However, his 2 fumbles turned into 2 Freehold Borough TDs themselves. Now in a tie game once again. They'll go from left to right. From the 29-yard line, Corbett back to the line of scrimmage. 235 yards of total offense on 32 plays through the first half, including 12 first downs. And a pass attempt to Foscue is incomplete. Foscue's been their main target today and had a pretty good drive in the last series. 4 catches, 53 yards. Leading receiver this season. His high day was 6 catches for 178. And as he throws, ball was jarred loose. They're going to call an incomplete pass. What a job by Calhoun. No, check that. It's Freehold Borough ball. Calhoun knocked the ball loose as he threw the ball. And when he came forward, pouncing on it, do you believe this? I think it was Krause again. We'll get confirmation on who recovered that fumble. What? Either way, what a play by Calhoun on the outside. As Worthy on 1st and 10 from the 27. Intercepted. Into the end zone. Darren Cleveland, his first INT of the season. So the teams exchange turnovers as they look to Quincy Davis for the 3rd time and still haven't been able to hit him. Worthy having a discussion with Davis, telling him to keep his head up. Could have just been a missed read.
The interception down by contact, and the ball was placed at the 2-yard line.
They placed the ball at the 2-yard line, saying he was down by contact.
The ball was possessed at the 2-yard line. Momentum into the end zone.
So momentum into the end zone, as the official does a great job today of describing why this is at the 2. Momentum into the end zone. He's down at the 2-yard line because of that. And a flag. Encroachment on the defense, and that will open up some space for Long Branch. What a wacky opening start to this 3rd quarter. So a fumble recovery at the 27. Then an INT by Cleveland. And now penalties on both sides on this drive by Long Branch. So that will wipe away that encroachment where they had some breathing room. So back at their own 2-yard line. Long Branch will look to get going, and what is their 2nd drive of this quarter? And we have only played 2.5 minutes in this quarter. Both teams 2-time sectional champions. Long Branch in their 18th playoff appearance, 9th time they have reached the finals. They have not won a title in 18 years. 1999, they won Central Group 3. They also won Central Group 3 in 86. So many of their players' lifetimes, they have never won a championship. Dan George has been there since pretty much the beginning, as this run will only go a couple of yards. 19th year is Dan George, former head coach at Ocean. Neither team actually won their conference. Of course, the Freehold Borough, they play in such a difficult division in the Shore A North. Manalapan's in there, Howell, Freehold Township. And when you have a conference record of 3-3, and on top of dropping 2 of those games because of that forfeit early on in the season, and wrapping them up towards the 1-yard line. That's where they will spot this. Knox Stokes. He took Corbett and put his arms up saying, oh, okay. We'll say the forward progress stopped at the original line of scrimmage. So now it'll be a 3rd down and 10 from the 2. The Green Wave taking their time to the huddle. Three of 5 on 3rd downs last half. Dropping it off. It is caught. That's Corbett using his speed. Check that, Matt Clark. Right across the middle in the flats. And a little jump throw hits Clark. Play action, little jump throw, and just pulling it in is Matt Clark. So the 1st down and up to the 30-yard line. First and 10 from the 30. Wilkins spins away and then driven backwards. That's Vinnie Manning. the junior. This front three for Freehold Borough. Dave Ellis has said it. They're not the biggest guys, but they really know how to eat up some blocks. Everett, 6 foot 203. Manning, 5'10", 235. Tomkovich, 5'11", 211. And if you compare them to some other teams in that division alone, they are small, considering. But they are tough. High snap, Wilkins pulls it in, then tosses one over to Pace of Fields. Fields, ball's loose! Freehold Borough again! The fourth fumble, and it is recovered by the Colonials at the 30. So let's just summarize what has happened in 5 minutes and 14 seconds. A 3-and-out is what began this half by Freehold Borough, followed by a fumble recovery, then an INT, another fumble recovery, and Ashante Worthy doing this up to the 21. Long Branch, even though it's a tie score, they have surrendered the football 4 times. They have been scored on the first 2 of those turnovers. Worthy, up the middle. He's got another one. 4 touchdowns for Ashante Worthy. And another 6 points off of a turnover. Ashante Worthy, 4 TDs today. 59 total on the season. That's his 39th rushing touchdown of the year. Hurler has been perfect on his PATs. The lead is back for Freehold Borough. 28-21, 6:34 remaining here in the third. What a wild start to this third quarter. As we were just summarizing the turnovers after turnovers after turnovers, this is now 21 points off of the 4 fumbles. They have scored on 3 of those 4 fumbles. So playing catch up again is Long Branch, who has led once in this game. That was way back in the second quarter, 14-7. Now they need to play some sound football, and they are still in this. And Ashante Worthy racking up some more rushing yards, getting closer to that state record. Hurler from right to left. Picked up at the 10. Porch up the middle to the 26. Every time Long Branch seems to just finally get a little momentum, really just shooting themselves in the foot at the moment. 6:29 to go here in the quarter. It's 28-21. And Long Branch, their win over Middletown South, again, 195 yards rushing. Corbett had a big rushing day. Same thing happened against Jackson Memorial. We had another carry that's not really going anywhere. Again, a Thanksgiving game for them. Or all time, they have actually won 5 of the prior 6 against Red Bank Regional. Played on Thanksgiving Eve, and Danny George said, just reminds you, that's what high school football is all about. If you have more time to prepare, and he's like, I'm not making any excuse. If you have time to prepare, and kids who are just healthier and able, of course, you're going to have a lot more time to get ready for a contest for a young football team. Looking to throw is Wilkins. Floats it out. Foscue. Incomplete. Hair on the coverage. And he was asking for some PI. Couple of jersey tugs, but nothing too strong. As the fans watch the video highlights live on the scoreboard here, boos ring over the field. Third down and 10 from the 26. Foscue on the left, trips right. Corbett out of the gun. As he stood to the right, his Porch will pick this up. Porch down the near sideline. Worthy saves a touchdown on a tackle from behind. Right at the 45-yard line. Wilkins, the good little fake. And Porch will bring the ball all the way up into Freehold Borough territory. Just his first carry of the season, believe it or not. And what can Ashante Worthy do? Just saying this during halftime. For someone like Worthy on both sides, I don't know how some of these two-way players do it. Corbett will get up to the 45 on a 3-yard pickup. But to not just be basically the lead running back and quarterback of a team on top of playing safety, you have to have some serious conditioning. 2nd and 7 from the 45. High formation. Wilkins. Under center, play action. Time to throw. Floats it far side. It is incomplete. Asa Fields was already out of bounds. Fields, one of those guys that this season really looked at. Of course, the big surprise player, we mentioned this before, according to Dan George, was Luke Arnold. What he's been able to do with the inside linebacker spot as just a junior, but they knew they would need guys like Wilkins and Asa Fields to really step up. Jawan has already surpassed the school record in passing yards. This time he will go on the ground. Stiff arms one, not the second. Dan Belmont, the junior, with his first tackle today. So that will bring up a 4th down and a punt. Second time they will punt today. So 2 punts, 4 fumbles, and 2 touchdowns is what the lines read for the Green Wave offensively. 4:15 to play. It is punted and bounced inside of the 20. Clark stands over it along with Hare. They will come together, and the ball will start at the 14-yard line for Freehold Borough. Already up by 7. From their own 14, Worthy goes to the arm. It's caught right across the middle at the 35. De Silva with the grab. Matt De Silva looking for him in those tough situations. Didn't have any catches or carries during the semifinals, just one reception, one carry in the quarters. Still 20 grabs this year. Go-to situations, what they use for him, as Worthy is free from the 35-yard line, past the 45, past midfield, and to the 45 of Long Branch.
Crosses the midfield line.
A 20-yard pickup for Ashante Worthy. 55 yards rushing this half alone. Kraus motions right. Worthy looks across the middle, bouncing in the pocket, throws from his back leg. It is a catch. That's Kraus at the 29. That was an awkward throw by Worthy. But when he looked towards his right and saw nobody was within maybe 15, 20 yards of the junior Matt Kraus, who has 50 crabs this year, he said, I got to get him the ball. 1st and 10 from the 29. Here's Worthy. Shimmies off 2. He already has 4 touchdowns. Make it number 5. Ashante Worthy from 29 yards out. $83 yards in this half, rushing alone, and 2 touchdowns. This will be encroachment on the green wave, but a 2-score game for Freehold Borough. Capitalizing on some defensive stands and then letting their star go from there.
Half the distance to the goal, retry.
Hurler, perfect today. 4 of 4. And stays perfect. It's 35-21. Ashante Worthy has every touchdown today for the Freehold Borough Colonials. 3:15 to go here in the 3rd quarter in the Central Group 4 title game on News 12 Varsity. It seems a common theme, at least in many of the games today, are teams that haven't been here in a little bit of time. Had some down years, followed up by a chance to finish off 2017 at Rutgers. Freehold Borough, from 2012 to 2013, they won just 7 games and lost 26. Since then, they have won at least 7 games 3 of the last 4 years, and at least 6 wins every single year, including last. This is the first time they've been in the finals since they won it in 2010. Porch will pick it up from the 8. Porch to the middle of the field. The 22 is where Long Branch will begin, down by their largest deficit today.
Ball plays the 22. First down for Long Branch.
3 minutes to go here in the quarter. And a run will pick up 4.
Belmont.
And Corbett has been good at points. He is so young and has such a bright future ahead. He's the guy you're going to be looking to in the shore. You'll hear his name for years to come. He's got 2 more of them. As Mimes motions right, play action. Wilkins couldn't get past Stokes. And then Kenny Tomkovich. Boy, once Knox Stokes, the junior inside linebacker, was able to slow him down, Tomkovich blew him up. Back at the line of scrimmage. It was 3rd down and 10. But for Freehold Borough to get past in that semifinal where they knew, of course, Brick year in, year out, so disciplined. You need to play great defense against them. That's exactly what they did. 27 unanswered points. They were down 14-7. They were down in this contest, too. As Wilkins fires one, far side. It is caught by Foscue. There is a flag on the play. And it's back at the 46. One of the officials actually fell as he was running backwards, and Foscue banged into him. The green wave pointing, that is a Freehold Borough penalty. It is defensive holding. So Coach George will decline, and he'll have a 1st and 10 from the 42 of the Colonials. Foscue has been very good today. It's Wilkins eludes a tackle. Now cuts to the left, and Worthy wraps him up right at the 37. I'm no coach, I'm far from it. But DJ Foscue, I know you have to pick your moments of hitting him, but there have been points where he has been a game changer. He lines up to the left, trips right. 2nd and 5 from the 37. Wilkins, across the middle. Mimes with the grab at the right seam. That's to the 30-yard line. So it will move the sticks. And down by 2 scores with 50 seconds remaining here in the 3rd. Long Branch needs points on the board here. Empty backfield. Juwan Wilkins looking right, throwing right. He hits Mark Dennis, and Dennis crosses the 20. Only 6 grabs coming into today, the backup quarterback as well. And he has had catches in the last 3 games prior to Thanksgiving, including a meeting between these two. .20 seconds to go here in the quarter. Empty backfield again, 5 wide. 1st and 10 from the 17. Wilkins, the C's open up in the middle, and he picks up about 6 yards. That will do it for the 3rd. So after sloppy turnovers by both teams in the opening portion of this quarter, Ashante Worthy rushes home another 2 TDs. They lead by 2 scores. It's 35-21. We head to the 4th quarter of the Central Group 4 title game. 12 minutes remaining in regulation time. Here from High Point Solutions Stadium, Dan Savarino with you. Thank you for joining us. Josh Noble, our producer here. Game number 3 at Rutgers, and it has been a good one. Worthy's 2 touchdowns in the third quarter extends a lead. He now has 201 in the game. Wilkins will throw here on second down. Incomplete, intended for Pesa Fields. Wilkins, 13 of 19 now, 191 yards and a touchdown. Foscue, 5 for 88 in terms of receptions. Clark has 3 grabs for 49, and Corbett has 20 carries for 115 yards. The bulk of those carries, though, came back in the first half. Only had 4 yards on 5 carries in the third quarter. On third down, Mimes leaps forward. It's a touchdown for Long Branch. Kamar Mimes, his 4th TD of the season. The big D-end recruit picks up 6 when needed. Kick is up. It is good.
11:51 remaining in the fourth quarter. It's now Freehold 35. Long Branch 28.
35-28, 9 seconds into the fourth quarter. Freehold Borough will have the football, leading by 1 score, and expect them to obviously go to the ground here. We just mentioned Worthy 201 yards. That includes 83 in the second half alone and 2 touchdowns. And keeping an eye on some records here, he needs 37 more yards to surpass Jonathan Taylor's record of 2,815, a single season best in the modern era in New Jersey. He did that last year. He's now at Wisconsin and having a Heisman-like season for the Badgers. Would be a favorite going forward. And definitely an NFL potential kind of back. As for these players on the field, though, those are bigger dreams. At the moment, their dream is playing in this stadium for a state title. They have done so for 3 quarters and 9 seconds. There'll only be 1 coming away, though, with that crown. Kicking off from right to left is Montague. Picked up from the 17. And Hare gets to the 26. About 9 yards on the kick return. Freehold Borough from left to right. Okay, when this season started, a win over Freehold Township and then a loss at Howe. Howe, a very tough team. But it was something that hurt them to have to forfeit those games after that. Nothing they can do. And if Dave Ellis said, we can control, how are we going to respond to it? And he told me that this team responded better than you would expect. It let them talk amongst themselves, left the room, and when he came back in, Worthy and the others said, we're finishing this season and finishing it the right way. And that's exactly what they did. The last 3-4 weeks, they have been having championship-like practices because they knew how close it would be. Maybe 2 or 3 power points, if so. Here from the 32-yard line, Worthy picks up 1 as Jennings hits him hard. But they knew how difficult it would be, and there was no guarantee they would make it into the playoffs with the PowerPoints. So they started practicing with that kind of mindset. And the last month or so, it has been pure focus. The alumni, the community has loved this, as Worthy lunges forward for a first down.
First down.
Worthy gets the signs from the sideline as they will methodically move this ball ahead, up by 7. Kraus motions left. Worthy keeps it himself, runs right up the gut, continues to churn those legs past the right seams, keeps going until the whistle is blown. Another 4 yards.
Fazio on the tackle. Second and 4, be second and 6.
Second down and 6. The first meeting, they put up 519 yards of offense. 3 different receivers had 3 catches. Today, through 3 quarters, 4 different receivers have at least 2 catches. As Worthy pump fakes. Nowhere to go. Decides to move to the legs. Worthy, pass midfield, shimmies out of bounds, and crosses to the 45.
First down, Colonials. Throwing plays to the long range, 45.
$15 more yards away from a record. First and 10 from the 45. Kraus motions right. Looks left, throws left. It is caught by Dixon to the 41. Ahmad Dixon really should be a tailback. He is just a freshman, and he is going to be the tailback of the future. Very skilled, came so far this summer to this point, just lacked some experience. And as a 5'8 freshman, has played a pretty good role for this team. False start.
False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty.
I believe that is the 5th or 6th false start penalty against Freehold Borough today. And we have played 3 minutes and counting here in the 4th. Second and 11 from the 46. Worthy. Pump fakes. Now he'll go to the legs again. Worthy with the stiff arm. Past the 35-yard line. And he is taken out of bounds at the 38. So another first down. First and 10 from the 33. Kraus moves left. Worthy with the carry. Runs right up the gut to the 30-yard line. To the 29. So already on this drive, killing off minute after minute and flipping the fields. It's exactly what they wanted to do. De Silva will run to the left. And another false start.
Full start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. 30 down.
And with this team winning in 2010 and 2008, I asked Dave Ellis, how do you compare this group to the other championship teams that you did have. And he was an assistant coach on those squads and said a little bit different. 2010 felt it was their season. A lot of kids who played as sophomores on the championship, as Worthy picks it up off the turf and just pounces on the ball before losing it. Said, you know, this team reminds him more of the 2008 group that won the Central Group 3 championship. Growing pains, few starters on defense, not as much adversity as, of course, what they dealt with in the early part of the season with the forfeits. Then a loss to Manalapan. This team has known adversity more than most teams around this state, in his opinion. And De Silva pulls in a grab at the 30-yard line to the 28. Thinks all of that has helped them to reach this point. Again, it makes it more difficult on yourself. But now that you're in there, you feel like you can conquer the world. 4th down and 5. Four of 8. On 3rd downs, entering into this drive. And just 1 of 2 on 4th downs. They will talk it over and use their first timeout here of the second half. 35-28 is the score. Freehold Borough, back-to-back touchdowns. They have scored 21 points off of 4 Long Branch fumbles. Ashante Worthy has all 5 touchdowns for the Colonials, and that is where we are right now. They only trailed once in this game. It was by 7 points after Corbett had back-to-back scores to tie it at 7-7 and then lead 14-7. It was in the second frame. And also we're tied going into halftime. Matt Clark scored a touchdown reception with zeros on the clock. Kind of felt the momentum was swinging maybe to the green wave, but turnovers have slowed that. So 4th down and 5 from the 28. And be careful, Worthy already has a few touchdowns from this area. Five wide. Worthy, he will run with the football. Cuts back to the left, and a loss. A turnover on downs. But Kim Morris, first on the pursuit at the linebacker position with 46 tackles coming into today. First and 10, their own 29-yard line. Corbett with a run and a nice burst of speed to the 34.
Ball plays just short of the 35-yard line. The 75.
Long Branch will have 3 timeouts, 6 minutes and change remaining to put up 7 points and tie the score. Play action. Wilkins throws to the near side, and Fuscu draws pass interference on Javante Hare. Said it before, he has been a difference maker today. Leading receiver in this game, 5 catches for 88. Closing in on a 100-yard day, which he has only done once. And he had 178 against Manasquan the first game of this season. First and 10 from exactly midfield, right hash marks. High snap, Corbett will follow his lead blockers and cross to the 45. He's just one of those players when you look at him, just so quick as soon as he hits that gap. And he's strong too, keeps churning the legs. They felt the loss in the Thanksgiving game to Red Bank Regionals. One of those, of course, you never like to lose, but makes you hungrier. And after you win a few in a row, you kind of like that little bit of taste in your mouth again. You want to get back at it. It's never fun. 2nd and 5 from the 45. Play action, far side, looking for Foscue. Incomplete, but another flag is thrown. TJ Foscue on that far side and near side. Him and Javante Hare have been going at it since the opening whistle. Second pass interference penalty against Hare on the very same player for the Green Wave. It'll get him to the 30-yard line on a 15-yard penalty. .504 to play in regulation time. Down by 7 is Long Branch. First and 10 from the 30-yard line. And Corbett to the 25 as he scoops up 5 yards. Past champions here in Central Group 4. Last year it was Allentown defeating Brick Township 41-7. Jackson Memorial won their 3rd title with a 12-0 season over Brick Memorial in 2015. And then Jackson Memorial winning in 2014 with the prior 3 years going to Sayreville. There will be a new champion this season. We know that. Just not sure who will come out on top with 4 minutes to play. And Long Branch marching down the field. 3rd and 2 from the 22. Wilkins trying the QB sneak. He gets to the 20. That's where they needed to go. It's a first. So now if you're Long Branch, you're feeling pretty good about yourself at this moment. You're in the red zone. You have all 3 timeouts. The clock is ticking down. You have all 3 timeouts, and your opponent only has 2 also. Time management's going to be so key here, as Corbett will take a carry and spins around to the 26. You never want to tell a player, okay, don't score. We've seen how that has worked out numerous times in a variety of different football games. Pro, college, high school, semi-pro, it does not matter. Wilkins will go empty backfield, 5 wide. 2nd and 6 from the 16. 3-step drop into the pocket, fires a bullet across. Mesa Fields was the target and incomplete, as Calhoun was there on the coverage, who has been very, very good today. Forced a fumble before. One of the 4 returning starters for the Colonials defense. 3rd down and 6 from the 16. And they get loud on the near side of the field, needing a stop. Wilkins stands in the pocket. It's caught by Clark. Clark's got the first down and more. Twists his way to the 5. Matt Clark just had 2 catches for 20 yards over his last couple of games. Last 2 to be exact. Last 3 actually, to be exact. But his biggest day came against Freehold Borough. when he had 6 for 108. Already today, he has been racking up some receptions and has a touchdown. Only his second score of the season. First and goal from the 5. Trailing by 7. Wilkins, play action. Fades to the end zone. It's a penalty. Krause was on the coverage.
Pass interference on the defense. After distance for the goal.
Intended for Elijah Sharon. First time they look to his number today. Coming in at fullback. Half the distance to the goal. To the 2. 2:18 to play in regulation. I formation. They'll go to Corbett. He pushes forward. And he will be short by just inches. The hair of the nose. So the one pro of this for Long Branch is you can take off another 30 seconds on this clock. And you are just a foot away. Morrison, Corbett, the 2 backs. Corbett. Short. My goodness. Stokes and Neely, the 2 linebackers. And it was Stokes who got to him and stopped him. So that takes off another 30 seconds, essentially. But a third down and goal. Inside of the 1. Timeout, Freehold Borough.
Timeout. Freehold.
Again, smart timeout, because even if you do give up the score here, you need to save some time in the clock for yourselves to potentially drive the field for a game winner. And also talk things over here. See if you can get a couple of stops. Dan Savarino here with you here at High Point Solutions Stadium. It's the third of 4 games at Rutgers today. Such a fun day during the year. It's getting a little chillier this evening in the Garden State. Low 40s now. There was a frost on my car this morning. That's the first time I saw that all year. That means one thing. It's December football. Final weekend of this football season, and what a year it has been in this tri-state. We've been treated to 3 games that have been phenomenal thus far today alone. Third and goal. Inside of the 1. 1:10 remaining. Long Branch down by 7. Wilkins crosses the plane. A PAT away from a tie game. Montague has not missed today. Was 2 of 3 in that first meeting. Gets it off, nearly blocked. It is good. We have a tie score. 35-35. 1:07 to go. Freehold Borough will have all 3 timeouts. Excuse me, 1 timeout. Boy, I'm way off. 1 timeout remaining, and 1:07 to go. They also happen to have the only 2000 and 2000 player in New York Jersey history. And this team has battled so much this season. It is a tie ball game. at 35 apiece. A 2-score lead heading to the fourth quarter has vanished. This is the third time in the contest that Long Branch has tied the score. 7-7, 21-21, and 35-35. For a team that has fumbled the ball 4 times and gave up 21 points off of those turnovers, they are very fortunate to persevere through defense and making up for it on the offensive side of the pigskin. Hare back to receive. Along with Ahmad Dixon. Hare from the 10-yard line. Gets a good block outside. Devontae Hare. Great field position with exactly 1 minute to play. Best return today, 30 yards. And if it wasn't for the kicker, Montague, slowing him down and knocking him out, he could have been free. So here we go. 60 yards is what they need. And a Long Branch player has to fix his helmet. Officials timeout. Ashanti Worthy. More than 200 yards on the ground today. Takes the snap, pump fakes, now he'll go to the legs. Worthy jukes outside, breaks the tackle, past the 45, and nearly at midfield. Should mention, by the way, unofficially, I'll have to get these stats, but Ashanti Worthy has broken the single-season rushing record in New Jersey history, held by Jonathan Taylor for just 1 season. But still a big record. More than 2,815 yards. 2nd and 1 from the 49. Worthy rolls to the far side. He throws. It is caught by Dixon. So a first down. That will at least stop the clock as they can run to the line of scrimmage. Again, 1 timeout remains here in this game. Worthy working from the gun as he always does. Looks left, looks right, nowhere to go. Bounces outside. Worthy tucks it underneath his arm, and he'll run out of bounds. The Freehold Borough fans asking for some flags on a hit out of bounds. From the 46. Play action. Worthy throws, incomplete. Macon was the target. Haven't looked to him since the first half. 30 seconds remaining on a 3rd and 10. The ball spotted at the 46, and you still have a timeout to go. And Long Branch, all 3 of their timeouts. In a tie game, 35-35. Worthy, cross the middle, intercepted! Mark Dennis, the first turnover today for Freehold Borough. They have 25 seconds, 3 timeouts to go, and will have the ball at the 41. 3rd interception on the season for an all-division player. For a defense that surrendered just 3 points in the playoffs until tonight, they come up with a gigantic turnover. A chance to win the game. Wilkins rolls out to his right. He throws on the run. He's got a man. It's caught. Asa Fields to the 39. 19 seconds to play. A nervous energy on the near side of the field, and excitement on the far. 1st and 10 from the 39. Wilkins looking left. Here comes the rush, and it's Everett. Timeout. Long Branch is down to 2. They'll have 11 seconds to play with after a 3-yard loss. Bajan Everett, the 6', 203 senior, coming around the backside again. So here's what you still have to worry about. You can't just throw something up and hope that maybe your guy will pull it in for a win, because there are too many weapons for the Colonials that could run that back. But realistically, with the 2 timeouts, if you get the ball to about the 20, you have one good shot at the end zone to try and win this. Tie game. 35-35. They just tied the score with about a minute to play. 11 seconds to go. It's 2nd and 13. Ball sits on the 42. Wilkins out of the gun. Here comes the rush from Everett. Throws. Fields. Caught at the 25. He's inside of the 20. Timeout. 3 seconds remaining.
Timeout. Long Branch.
Boy, oh boy. Asa Fields, the senior. And this is going to come down to a field goal.
Field goal attempt.
3 seconds on the clock. Paul Montague, a 34-yard field goal attempt. No chance to even ice. Well, actually, there is one timeout, so you wonder if you ice the kicker in this spot.
Timeout, Long Branch.
And Long Branch will call a timeout. So Freehold Borough still has a timeout remaining. Montague this season, 2 of 5 on field goal attempts. To think how this all started. There was exactly a minute with the ball at the 40-yard line of their own side of the field. They got it and picked up another 20 plus. Shante Worthy, the one mistake he has made today. One is an INT. Mark Dennis with that pick. And now a chance to win the game from the leg of the senior Paul Montague. 34 yards. Last attempt, October the 20th. 2 of 5 on the season. Ball's down, laces to the front, gets the kickoff, but it's no good. We're heading to overtime to decide the Central Group 4 Championship. We'll be right back on News 12 Varsity. nothing better than this to decide the sectional championship here in Central Group 4. Dan Severino here with you at High Point Solutions Stadium. We're heading to overtime, 35-35. Before we summarize how this all went down, let's get you the rules in OT. Ball will start at the 25. Both teams will have a timeout. Long Branch won the toss. They elected to defend first. So, if you score, you score. You either go for 2, PAT, then the other team has to respond. It's the old college way of the way overtime runs. When we reach the third overtime, if we are still tied, both teams have to go for 2 points, no matter what. Well, Freehold Borough started off with the lead, 7-0. Long Branch only led 14-7, but they tied it at 21-21 at the end of the first half. They were down by 2 scores after Worthy's 5th touchdown run of the day. He also broke the record in rushing yards in a season in the state record, as the only quarterback to ever have 2,000 and 2,000. Here he starts from the 25-yard line and spins around, picking up a good 10 yards. The game would eventually be tied on a Wilkins 1-yard run with just 1 minute and 7 seconds to go. Then Worthy, with a timeout, threw an interception in Long Branch real estate. A 34-yard field goal attempt by Paul Montague to win it. With time expired, missed. That's why we are playing in overtime. This has been some game. Ashante Worthy, the do-it-all guy, as the ball is first and goal from the 6. Again, so important to score first. Worthy cuts left, cuts right, gets hit, keeps driving forward. He's in, touchdown. We are not worthy of Ashante. TD run, number 6. So they will kick the PAT. Hurler has not missed one today. Five of 5. Kick is off. It's good. 42-35. So Worthy runs every single play as he's had every offensive series. Scores touchdown number 6. So now Long Branch need to score here and kick a PAT to either tie the game or a 2-point conversion to either win or lose. First, you have to put the points on the board. And this offense has been rolling. Don't forget, they still have 4 fumbles in the game, though. Turnovers have absolutely plagued them in this contest and have given up scores off of those turnovers. But a fumble and the game is over. Fumble recover, that is, by Freehold Borough. Wilkins works from the gun, from the 25-yard line here in the first OT. Corbett runs just inside of the 20-yard line. To the right of the numbers is where he went. A solid pickup of 6 yards. Corbett has 2 touchdowns. Back-to-back possessions for Long Branch. Second down and 4. From the 19. Corbett again, outside of the numbers. Corbett's got a block. He's inside of the 10. Freehold Borough is going to use their timeout. Remember, you only have 1 in overtime. 42-35 overtime football to decide the Central Group 4 championship. Well, Rumson, Fairhaven, and Somerville are supposed to start at 7 o'clock. Have not gotten official confirmation if that will be pushed back. Of course, it all depends on this game. I would have to assume so. None of that matters at the moment, even though those fans continue to pile in to High Point Solutions Stadium. So they get double for their money and get to watch some OT football. So first and goal from the 8. Corbin at the left hip. He has taken every carry. He'll take another one. Follows his blockers up to the 5. Spotted at the 6. Only 2 yards. Second and goal. Juwan Wilkins is very solid today. Had the tying score. Here he stands in the gun. Second and goal from the 6. Good coverage. Throws outside. Fields leaps. He's in. Mesa Fields, the senior. And now, do you go for 2 and attempt to win? Or do you kick for the PAT and hope your defense can stand up? And Dan George wants to talk things over more with his offense to decide. You can see on that far sideline, as soon as they scored, they came together with their offensive group. Now, of course, there's risks and there are rewards of this. You score, you win. That's it. You have to feel pretty confident in your group in that moment to go for 2. If you elect to kick, again, no guarantee that PAT goes through. You're putting a lot of pressure on your kicker in this situation. And on top of it, then you have to get a defensive stop, keep going back and forth. Montague has been very good today on PATs. He did just miss a field goal. I think Dan George is going to go for it. If I had to guess by this huddle. They will. Well, this is it. This is for the state championship. It comes down to the 2-point conversion. 42-41 at the moment. Score, they win. They get stopped, it's Freehold Borough. 2-point conversion on its way. A throw, successful! Sharon wins it for Long Branch. They are your 2017 Central Group 4 champs. The fans storm the field at High Point Solutions Stadium. They were down 2 touchdowns into the 4th quarter. They tied the game with a minute to go. They had an interception with a chance for Freehold Borough to drive the field on a record-setting day by Ashante Worthy. And then a 2-point conversion to Elijah Sharon, a captain and another senior. And the win for Long Branch. What a moment for this community. Their 3rd ever sectional crown.